Okay, so first and foremost, welcome to our 10 years of TSF anniversary bash. It is such an honor. And before I forget, a huge thank you to Amgen and to UCB for sponsoring tonight's event. All of the money that we raised tonight will go towards research, so thank you so much. I did prepare a little bit of a speech, so 10 years is a long time to be doing this, and there's so many people that I have to thank. So maybe we'll just rewind a little bit. 10 years ago, this day, this week, I was almost 25. My birthday's actually next Wednesday, and I had just experienced my first optic neuritis attack. So I lost vision in my right eye almost completely. And the doctor said, okay, this looks like an idiopathic case of optic neuritis. We're gonna treat you with steroids. You're vitamin D deficient, but your vision should return within 3 months to a year. Move on with your life, you're gonna be okay. So I said, okay, I am gonna move on with my life. And the next week I celebrated my 25th birthday, and I love to say I definitely partied like a rock star because Sumaira pre-NMO was a different breed. And I had a lot of fun. I had no care in the world about this optic neuritis nonsense. But it was after my one week after my birthday where I lost vision in both of my eyes. And then I also, my acuity went from 20/20 in both eyes to 2600 in the right eye and 21/20. And furthermore, the entire left side of my body became totally numb. And as somebody who had been dancing from the age of 3 to 21, this was devastating to me. And so long story short, I was very lucky to be treated by physicians at MGH. In fact, I'm going to see my first doctor tomorrow, Dr. Tracy Cho, who's now at Iowa. And they diagnosed me with seronegative neuromyelitis optica spectrum disorder. Actually, it wasn't even spectrum disorder at the time, it was just neuromyelitis optica. And you can imagine that in 2014, when NMO wasn't really on the map the way it is now, and there were no FDA-approved therapies, and everything that you saw on the internet said that you were going to be dead within 5 years, was devastating news. I was scared, I was angry, I was frustrated, I was very confused, and I just didn't even know how to sort of pick up the pieces and move on with my life. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sumaira. I am a patient living with seronegative neuromyelitis optica spectrum disorder over the last 10 years. I have been in remission for 6 years, which I'm very excited about. And I'm also the founder and director of the Sumaira Foundation, which I started 2 months after my diagnosis. I am a child of immigrants, and I say this because community is such a big part of my life and my upbringing and what I know and believe in. I'm a product of somebody who has been raised by communities and villages, and I'm so fortunate that I had so many communities around me growing up. The first and foremost was my Bangladeshi community, and I know we have some Bangladeshi hospitality employees here, so nice to speak to you guys in Bengali. But I'm also Muslim, so I had a Muslim community, my school friends. I was in the entertainment industry for a very long time, so I have a lot of a Bollywood community, if you know what Bollywood is. I went to BU, so I have Boston University, where I have a community there. And then when I started working in ophthalmology, I also had a community there. But after I got diagnosed, I went online to see okay, what is this NMO nonsense? I really couldn't find the community that I was looking for, or that I needed, quite frankly. As a newly diagnosed 25-year-old patient, I needed a village. I needed support. And I wanted to find other patients, but I just couldn't. So that's why I decided to take matters into my own hands. Over the last 10 years, in addition to working full-time at Mass General Brigham, living with and caring for my rare disease, and trying to navigate this world and life as a young, independent woman, I set out to do whatever I could to make an impact for rare patients living with rare disease around the world. I took components and skills of my past life, professional experience, and just, I guess, whatever I was born with, which includes being in the entertainment industry, so speaking extemporaneously is not an issue. I don't have stage fright. I studied public relations in university, and then I worked in healthcare. And it almost felt like all of these pieces were the perfect puzzle pieces for what was happening to me and what I wanted to do for this community. And all of those things are what helped me do the following. And it is a long list, but I want to, for my own imposter syndrome, just say it out loud because I don't give myself enough credit. Over the last 10 years, we have shared over 170 stories from patients, caregivers, clinicians, researchers, and advocates from around the world. We have produced podcasts and webinars, over 200 of them. I've developed patient education empowerment tools. We've held galas and fundraisers like tonight. We created an ambassador program in 2019, and in fact, one of our OG ambassadors, Maria Brego, is here. Raise your hand, Marie. There she is. Maria's been living with NMOSD since she was 15 years old. She's now in her early 30s, and she came all the way from New Mexico to celebrate tonight with us. I've been designing merchandise. You know, we have shared decision-making efforts, including our interactive therapies chart that has all of our FDA-approved therapies side by side for patients to talk with their doctors about which therapy is the best for them. We've produced documentaries, we host patient days, we've done roundtables and panels, summits and conferences. We have a unicorn as our mascot. We've been funding research, fellowships, and journal publications. We're getting very deep into the diagnostics field. Awareness Month campaigns, illuminations around the world, proclamations to get March recognized as NMO Awareness Month and April recognized as MOGAD Awareness Month. We have support group meetings now every 2 weeks in 12 languages around the world. We launched a symptom tracking app recently called NeuroSum. We do a ton of market research. We do equity, diversity, and inclusivity initiatives. There's a big focus on wellness in the foundation, and of course, global expansion. So all of this to say that I have learned a lot over the last 10 years, and being the leader of this foundation has been one of the most internally rewarding but intellectually stimulating experiences that I don't think I would have ever had if I worked at another job. But it definitely hasn't been easy, and I can tell you with humility and honesty that there have been so many times over the last 10 years that I've wanted to give up and walk away from it all. It is hard work, and I have no problem with hard work. My parents instilled great work ethic in me from when I was a kid, but sometimes it can be very emotionally draining when you're surrounded by sometimes very, very tragic stories, even in 2024. But it is thanks to my village that was born out of illness, the surprise community that was birthed out of this, that has kept me from giving up. And so I'd like to thank a number of people, so bear with me. But first and foremost, my family and friends. They have been my rock throughout the last 10 years of living with NMOSD, but also learning how to grow, lead, and sustain a nonprofit organization that's now global. The TSF Board of Directors, our Medical Advisory Board. If you're a part of our Medical Advisory Board, please make some noise for me. Don't be shy. I know you guys are all nerds, but I know they're here. Darshi's here, Sana Mariotto is here, Sarosh Irani is here. Yeah, raise your hand. Let me see. Okay, we have several Medical Advisory Board members here. Thank you so much for all of what you do for us. Our strategic advisors, so Michael Devlin, Jasmine Patel, Alana Yee, Guillaume Molinier, who's in France, Stephanie Hanzo, who is in Canada, and Chelsea Judge, who is based in Ohio. Thank you to our partners, without whose support we could have done a lot of what we do. So that's Horizon, now Amgen. Make some noise, Amgen. Alexion Pharmaceuticals, thank you for being my first friend in industry. Where are the Alexion people? Make some noise, guys. Come on, don't be embarrassed. UCB, where's the UCB crowd? They're here somewhere. I saw them anyway. Thank you, UCB, and thank you, Genentech. But there are certain individuals within all of these organizations who have really gone above and beyond for me and the foundation, and I just need to thank them. So Cheryl Lapidus, who's not here with us tonight, but thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, B. Mick Lucas, for being a pal to the foundation and helping us so much over the years. I met you at Yellow Bio and Cheryl, and you guys have just been like my surrogate mothers in this industry. Thank you. Noah Brown from Amgen, Ed O'Kane from Amgen, Tim Walbert, who started Horizon Therapeutics. I have learned so much from him. What a mentor. Vikram Karnani from Amgen, Stephanie Evanson, my friend right here. And then, of course, Andrew Fletcher. I don't know where he is, but he's got a cool ponytail back there. Thank you, Andrew. I'd also like to take a moment to thank Wendy Erler, who's not here tonight, but she was actually the very first person from industry who ever reached out to me, and we are still friends to this day. She's friends with my family. I love Wendy so much. Christine Rowe, raise your hand. Thank you so much. And last but certainly not least, Miss Danielle Hartig. Where are you? Yay! Thank you, Danielle, for all of your love and support. Also, our ambassadors. We now have 75 patient caregiver clinician ambassadors from 28 countries. If you're an ambassador, raise your hand so people can see you. We have Alana, Matt, thank you for all of what you guys do and for leading by example. Thank you to all of the patients and caregivers who have trusted me over the last 10 years to represent our community. Thank you to the clinicians and researchers, many of whom are in this room today, for doing all that you do for our patient community. When I got sick with NMOSD, before I knew any of you, I was terrified constantly for 5 years because I was afraid that no one was thinking about us and that no one cared. But then I met all of you guys, and then I was like, okay, these guys are working day in and day out to figure out what's going on with us. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for making us feel safer and cared for. Of course, our donors, thank you very much. And I have 3 very special mentors in my life who have taught me so much. The first is Sumaira Melki. He was my boss for 6 years when I worked in ophthalmology. I worked in ophthalmology when I got optic neuritis, which was crazy, but it's what saved me, and he advocated for me so hard. So I thank him so much for teaching me all that he has. Chuck Posner, who was my boss at the Brigham and Women's Hospital. I miss him so much. I miss fighting with him so much. And now, Michael Devlin, who is my partner in cause. Many of you know and love him. You know, we bicker like an old married couple, but I learn a lot from him every day. Over the last 3.5 years, the amount that I have learned from Michael is, again, more than I would have ever learned in an MBA program. So thank you for doing that for free for me. I'd also like to thank my beautiful niece, Maya Moon. She was born on April 8th, 2024. I never knew what unconditional love was until my niece came into my life, and she is teaching me things every day. I'm learning from her and with her every day as she figures out the world, and she's so cute. I will show you guys all pictures if you want to see. But she's the absolute best part of my life. She fulfills parts of me that I didn't even know existed. And Michael is afraid every day that I'm going to announce my retirement so I could be a full-time auntie to her, which may happen, you never know. And last but certainly not least, I'd like to thank myself, because, especially 25-year-old Sumaira, because it took great courage and strength amidst such a scary time to say, you know what, I'm gonna do something for other people, and I'm gonna try to figure this out. And I'm not saying that I have, but you know, that Sumaira is what got me here today. She got me here today, so I need to be thankful for her. And I need to respect and love her more, which means loving and respecting myself. And thank you all for coming tonight. It goes without saying that now you are officially a part of my village and my community. So I appreciate every single one of you for being here, for supporting us, for putting up with my nonsense and whatnot, all the pink and the unicorns and the rainbows and whatever. But you know, I'm just trying to make this sometimes grim world a brighter and happier place. So thank you very, very much. And with that, I would like to introduce you all to our live performer, whose name is also Sumaira. So please give a warm welcome to Yaya, aka Sumaira.